Good morning. Today I'm going to talk about something incredibly important for public health: vaccines and vaccinations. Now, vaccines have saved countless lives over the past century, helping prevent the spread of deadly diseases. They've not only protected individuals, but also have safeguarded entire communities by creating herd immunity. However, despite their proven success, there are still concerns and misconceptions surrounding vaccines that cause hesitation in some people. Well, today we're addressing how vaccines work, compare traditional and modern vaccine production methods, discuss routine vaccines for children, and address some common concerns, including one of the most persistent myths that link between vaccines and autism. Especially now that measles is on the rise again in America, let's dive into these crucial topics and clear up some of that confusion. So, how exactly do vaccines work? The basic principle behind all vaccines is that they train the immune system. Vaccines introduce a small, harmless part of the pathogen into the body, often a piece of the bacteria or virus called an antigen. This stimulates your immune system to recognize and remember that pathogen without causing the disease. If the body encounters the actual pathogen in the future, your immune system is already prepared to fight it off. Now, there are newer types of vaccines called mRNA vaccines, like the COVID-19 vaccine, which work in slightly different ways according to the ASCPT. Rather than introducing a piece of the virus itself, mRNA vaccines teach our cells to produce a harmless protein that mimics the virus. The immune system then recognizes this protein as foreign and creates a defense response. This means the body is ready to fight the real virus if it's encountered later on. mRNA vaccines have been a game changer, allowing for quicker vaccine production and deployment, especially in response to emerging infectious diseases. Historically, creating vaccines was a slow process. Traditional vaccines, like the ones for mumps and measles, which again is on the rise in America, were made by growing viruses or bacteria in a lab, then inactivating or weakening them. This process took time, sometimes years, but the benefit was that these vaccines often provide lifelong immunity. Today, thanks to the advancements in biotechnology, vaccine creation has become much faster. For example, the rapid development of the COVID-19 vaccines was made possible by techniques like mRNA technology, which can be produced faster than traditional methods. This type of vaccine production is critical in responding to new pathogens, allowing us to stay ahead of diseases and minimize their impact. However, even with the speed of new technologies, the safety of vaccines is always carefully evaluated before they're made available to the public. Now, vaccines are a routine part of childhood health and are responsible for protecting children from many life-threatening diseases. Common vaccines for your children, and even the vaccines you had as a child, include those for measles, mumps, rubella, polio, and whooping cough. Thanks to these vaccines, diseases that once caused widespread illness and death are now rare or non-existent in many parts of the world, except for measles, which is now making a comeback due to that widespread panic of COVID vaccines, and then all vaccinations back in 2019, according to a Harvard study. But we'll get to that later. The historical impact of vaccines cannot be overstated. For example, the smallpox vaccine led to the eradication of smallpox in 1980, making it the first disease ever to be completely eliminated through vaccination efforts. This success shows the power of vaccines and how they can prevent suffering and death on a global scale. Now, despite the proven effectiveness and safety of vaccines, there are several concerns that many people still have. Some of the most common worries include the fear of side effects, the speed at which vaccines are created, and the idea that vaccines are somehow harmful to the body. If you were alive in 2019, you may remember that on the news. One of the most persistent myths is the false link between vaccines and autism, which gained traction after a study published in 1998. However, extensive research has shown no connection was discredited due to no connection between the MMR vaccine, that's measles, mumps, and rubella, and autism. The original study was discredited due to the serious flaws in the methodology and ethical violations. Numerous large-scale studies included those by the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, and World Health Organization, that's the WHO, have found no evidence to support that claim. I had a troop who wanted to do her own research about the COVID vaccine when I was in the Air Force. Now, if someone is really concerned about the safety of vaccines, it's essential to consult credible sources like the CDC and like the WHO, and even peer-reviewed journals. These organizations provide science-based information about vaccine safety and the importance of vaccinations. Vaccines undergo rigorous testing and clinical trials before they're approved, and their safety is continuously monitored, even after they're released, no matter how fast they are completed. Now, I know that some of us may hear concerns on advice from friends or family who are hesitant about vaccines and even making it a political issue. It's important to remember that vaccination schedules are designed to protect not only the individual, but also the community. Vaccines are most effective when most people are vaccinated, creating herd immunity and preventing the widespread disease. This is especially important for those who cannot be vaccinated, such as people with weak immune systems or allergies to the vaccine components. My dad worked as a prison guard, and unfortunately, COVID ran through the prison like a death scythe, claiming multiple lives. My dad was fortunate to get the last hospital bed in the biggest hospital in Houston, Texas. When addressing vaccine concerns with your friends and your family, it's important to present facts. Scientific studies consistently show that the benefits of vaccination far outweigh the risks. Vaccines save lives, prevent the spread of disease, and ensure that diseases like polio, diphtheria, and measles remain rare. The safety record of vaccines is solidified by science, and the fear of adverse reactions is normally caused by a rumor mill. The risk of not vaccinating far outweigh the risks of vaccination. So to sum up, vaccines are one of the greatest achievements in public health. They protect individuals, families, and entire communities from serious diseases. While there are valid concerns about vaccines, it's crucial to rely on credible scientific sources and expert advice to make informed decisions. The evidence overwhelmingly supports the safety and efficacy of vaccines. As we continue to face new challenges, such as emerging infectious diseases, vaccines will remain our most powerful tool in protecting public health and preventing the spread of deadly diseases. I encourage you to stay informed and trust in the science that has kept Americans healthy for generations. Thank you. And as always, have peace and love.